Here's the early stages of a little mini NC controller that I'm in the midst of building for the head on an Industrial Hobbies manual milling machine. There's a slew of options and features that I'm going to add to it right now. This is the earlier stages to it. What you see right here, this contraption right here, that's going to that's simulating the head on the milling machine. The lead screw right here is roughly the same pitch as the one in the machine. The machine's a metric one. For a full revolution, I believe it travels 196 thousandths and change. I didn't feel like setting up the lathe to cut metric threads, and they're a bit of a pain on that lathe. So this one I cut at a 5 pitch, it was just 200 thousandths per revolution. This nut with the screws, excuse me, the nut with the screws and everything sticking out of it, that's going to simulate the head. Over here, I have a momentary switch for the car windows, something I got off of Amazon. This is going to simulate the rapid, or control the rapid, which I can show you right here. As far as the speeds go right now, it's kind of maxed out with this particular stepper motor. There's a small stepper motor. I forget the size of it. It might actually say on here. Sorry, I can't get it. I forget the size of that. It's a somewhat small one, and it's only hooked up to a 12-volt power supply. So the speed on it isn't that drastic. So this right here, that button, that'll control the rapids going up and down. And then I also have a small rotary switch here. Where is it? Which I'm going to use to control the depth of cut on it. Let me get this over to the indicator and I'll show you. This will control the depth of cut. Right now it's programmed to do 10 thousandths per click. I'm not sure if the inaccuracy there is within the software that I'm in the midst of coding. It's a C++ language, which is new to me. Or if it's just inconsistencies in the thread, the nut, or this cheap indicator that I'm using here. But as you can see, it's somewhat close. Oh. Can make a also was working a little bit on a menu. Here we go. The main options, there's nothing hooked up to that, but we can go into the boring options, pressing the B on the keypad. There we can select a depth of cut, how deep we want to make the bore. We'll just go with 1.5 inches. Oh. The D button, when you're with not outside of the main menu, if I press the D button, it's a delete. So we'll go back and try 1 inch. 1.5 deep. A pound is an enter button. And there we can see it's selected to 1.5 inches. Option 2 would be whether once it finishes to the bottom of the board, does it want to wrap it out or feed out? We can change that. 1 would be wrap it out. Oh, excuse me, or 0, which would feed out. Enter that. And then how far, when it rapids out, how far it's going to retract beyond the Z0 point. And we can also change that. I'll just change it to 1/2 inch. Oh. Into 1/2 inch. Go back to the main menu, hit the B button for back. And we can go into a drilling cycle. We'll go with our depth of cut, or how deep we want to make the drill, and we'll say we'll just drill down 5 inches. We want to peck within it. 0 would be no peck, it would just drill straight down and come back out. If you want to go with a peck, go into the pecking cycle. This I just use a simple formula of whatever the diameter of the drill is, multiply it by 1.5. So if we're going with a 1/2 inch drill, 1/2 inch, enter that. Now you can see the PEX cycle is going to be 3/4 of an inch. The retract point similar to the boring. How far above Z0 does it want to retract to? So this will just go at 1 and 375. And enter that. There we go. It'll drill a hole 5 inches deep with a PEX of 3/4 of an inch. And each time it'll retract to 1 3/8 above the center or above the Z0. Go back to the main menu. You can check out the boring options again. How everything's still saved in there. You want to go back and change. Have it wrap it out. Let's say we're just roughing. We don't want to take the time to feed out. We don't care about the finish. And then it'll wrap it up out of there. So that's about it for now. I can change the software real quick here. Earlier we were doing increments of depth of cuts of 10,000ths. Here I'm recompiling and reloading the software into the Arduino. I'm using our Arduino Mega board here. There you can see it right there. And all these wires and everything there. I just re-uploaded the software, made a change, so now it'll do increments of 1,000. And I can come back out of here. I'll make one other quick change. We can go with increments of 100,000ths. These changes that I'm making right now, that's all eventually going to go to a 3-position toggle switch. Far left will be 1,000. Up and down, 12 o'clock, that'll be 10,000s. And then to the far right, I'm going to assume 100,000s. I don't know what I'm going to go with. But, so now it should move 100,000s. Oh, I got a little binding up here. Oh, it wasn't binding up, it just wasn't touching the indicator. So, look at that. Okay, here we go. Now we should go 100,000s. That's one click. 100,000s again. And we can just wrap it down. And that's about it.